Welcome, everyone. My name is Dr. Nina Talley, and I'm the Director of Career Services. And I'd like to welcome you to our Employer Virtual Webinar series. And today we're featuring careers in agriculture. And I have such a distinct pleasure of introducing our host, our co-host, as well as our panelist. So I'd also like to welcome Dr. Corey Cockrell, who is going to be the co-host today for our webinar. We are so excited. We've been anticipating this time to be able to present to you some excellent employers and opportunities in the field of agriculture. So
Thank you, Nina.
today on our webinar, we're talking about the careers in agriculture, and we have on our panelists, we have Buckeye Ag Testing, we have Cargill, we have Corteba Agriscience, and we have Farm Credit Mid-America, as well as Premier Solutions. These employers are phenomenal. They have already been vested in our students here at Wilmington College, and many of our students have been employed there or are still being employed with them. So without any further ado, I'd like to start our webinar. Just for logistics sake, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A, and then we'll be able to present that to our panelists. So let's get started. So the agenda today, we're going to do introductions and the overview, which I've just done. We're then going to do the WC Legacy Tribute. And then we're going to look at our company introductions. I will be introducing each company individually, giving you a little bit of a bio of our speaker, as well as a little bit about the company, and then these speakers will take it over from there. Then Corey Cockrell will lead us in our employer panelist discussion, in which we have some excellent questions that have been posed not only from career services, but our student body as well. And then we'll finish with closing remarks. It is our goal to be able to finish by 1 o'clock, if not just a few minutes shortly after. So without further ado, let's start. Corey?
Thank you so much, Nina. We just thought we would like to take some time to pay tribute to some key faculty members from the Ag Department who've recently passed away. And so I'm going to take a moment to tell you a little bit about Dr. Tom Stillwell and Harold Thierry and the legacy that they left at Wilmington College. First with Tom. Tom began his career at Wilmington College in 2001 after a long career with the Peace Corps, actually. His focus was mainly in the area of agronomy. He devoted 18 years to the college before he retired in 2019. While Tom was here, he established the Crop Museum, Living Crop Museum at Wilmington. This focused on crops primarily grown within the United States and served as classroom materials that students could use for crop identification. And it is a resource that is like no other. Tom was also a world traveler. He developed a course in world food that we continue to teach at Wilmington College. Upon his retirement in 2019, he decided to come back for an encore to teach world food one last time. Tom unexpectedly passed away in the summer of 2020, but students still say that Tom taught some of the most enjoyable classes they had at Wilmington. And Harold Thierry. Harold is truly a legacy. He was a literal giant of the program. He stood at over 6 feet, 5 inches tall, and his presence was everything at Wilmington College. He began his career the year I was born in 1977. He was a professor of animal sciences. He earned a Master's of Science from Pennsylvania State University and taught courses such as dairy, beef, and sheep science, all the way to swine. Later in his tenure, Harold saw the changing dynamics of agriculture and introduced a food science curriculum whereby students studied food prep, processing, production, and safety. He was a proud faculty advisor to the Aggies Club, which is the largest student organization on campus, and they host each year an Aggies livestock judging competition, which last year had a record-breaking 1,402 participants and represented 97 high schools from Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. Harold unexpectedly passed away in January of 2021, just last month. His legacy lives on in everything we do, including the Aggies livestock judging competition that's to take place virtually next week. So thank you for the opportunity to pay tribute to these two. We would not have the program that we have or the opportunities that we have like today without these individuals.
Thank you, Corey. And as a Wilmington College tradition, let's have a moment of silence in tribute to these legacy leaders. Thank you. So our first company that I'd like to introduce is Buckeye Ag Testing. Today we have on our panel Jesse Roth and Megan Bergman. Jesse is the CFO and business manager at Buckeye Ag Testing and holds a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from West Virginia Wesleyan College and a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Phelan. She has been co-owner of Buckeye Ag Testing since 2007, and her past experience as a collegiate athlete and coach brings competitive drive and strategic organization to the business. Jesse has a key role in managing financials, data collection, and field activities. I've worked with Jesse for over the last 3 years, and it's been such a pleasure to work with Jesse at Buckeye Ag. And then we have Megan Bergman. Megan is a research associate at Buckeye, and Megan interned with Buckeye Ag Testing in the summer of 2018. She returned to work with the company full-time as a research associate after graduating from the Ohio State University in May 2020 with a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. At Buckeye Ag Testing, Megan manages the activities of the junior crew and plays a role in training interns and new employees. She also assists with managing general data collection and field activities. So without any further ado, I'd like for Buckeye Ag Testing to take the stage.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you see my PowerPoint? Okay, good. Thanks, Nina. We are located in Troy, Ohio, and this is our main facility. Our customers are seed, chemical, and fertilizer companies that send us their products to be tested. We conduct between 250 and 300 research trials each year. We have 9 full-time employees, generally hire 6 college interns, and also have 20 to 30 seasonal employees as well. Customers will send us a protocol describing all the applications, data collection, and sampling for each trial. We packet the seed and get it ready to go to the field. Then we plant the trials using one of our 5 research planters. Throughout the growing season, we make applications such as dry broadcast fertility, spray, and side dress applications. We then collect samples such as tissue samples, pollen, flower, root, soil, and grain samples. We also stay busy throughout the year taking data such as stand counts, vigor ratings, NDVI, plant heights, and other plant measurements. We conduct stewarded and regulated trials where pollinating may be required to produce pure grain samples. We also offer demo and show plots where customers can educate farmers and sales reps about the newest products in ag. We have an aerial imaging program that complements our field data and is gaining popularity in its use for research. And in the end, we provide our customers with all the data we've collected throughout the entire growing season. And now I will let Megan talk about career opportunities.
Are you guys able to see my screen? Okay. We do currently have a few career opportunities available. We are still looking to potentially hire more interns for the upcoming spring and summer. Our internship program offers a hands-on educational experience conducting field research. Interns are given opportunities to learn about agronomy, current products being used and developed for crop production, research equipment, and research trial execution. Interns will also get the opportunity to meet and interact with different industry leaders. On a daily basis, interns may be involved with planting, spraying, seed treatment, soil and plant sampling, and data collection. We also currently have a full-time position available. We are looking to hire a research associate. So the main duties for this position include research and protocol planning and field operations involved in planting, maintaining, and harvesting trials. One of the main tasks for this role involves trial applications, which includes preparing and applying treatments. This individual will also assist in leading junior field crews for data collection and sampling, communicating with leadership and clients on trial status and observations, and will work with manager inventory. So if you guys want to learn more about our company and our employment opportunities, I encourage you to visit our website, which is buckeyeagtesting.com, and also check out our Facebook page. And we will also be at the virtual career fair on March 10th, so be sure to sign up and talk to us there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jesse and Megan. We're so delighted to have Buckeye Ag. And as you could see in some of the pictures, you'll see some of our students working there at Buckeye Ag. So we're so proud to be able to be in partnership together. So thank you so much. Next, I'd like to introduce Cargill. And with Cargill, I'm going to introduce Lauren Phelan. And Lauren is originally from Northern Ohio and grew up on a diversified crop and livestock operation. She graduated from Ohio State University in 2013, majoring in animal science and political science. And then in 2019, she graduated from Ashland University with her MBA. Upon graduating from Ohio State, she took a job with Agrigold Hybrids, selling seeds in the Northwest Ohio, before moving to Eastern Iowa to continue her career. In the fall of 2017, she took a job with Cargill as a grain buyer and moved back to Ohio, where she currently resides in Anna. She has a passion for educating others on grain bin safety and continuously promoting safety on the farm. She truly believes that together we can make a difference. When she's not working, you can usually find her coaching volleyball or at a livestock show or with a camera in her hand. So without any further ado, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Let me get my screen pulled up here for you all, and we're going to do a short video. Can you all see my screen? right. So one of the cool things about Cargill is we are such a large company that we don't just cover one aspect of the ag industry, and it really goes beyond the ag industry too. So one of the cool things is I always like to tell new hires and students looking for jobs is you can start out in one area with Cargill and end up on a completely different sector or side of the ag industry, just depending on what you want and what your career path tends to be or what you choose it to be. So typically I'm a grain buyer with Cargill, so I focus more on the grain side, but I also help with operations. We do a lot of research, packaging, all sorts of things. Animal nutrition is kind of what we cover. So that's one of the cooler things about our company is it's so large because it gives you so many different opportunities than maybe some other routes or companies could give you. So that's one of the biggest things that I always tell folks when you're looking at Cargill. Yes, it's a big company, but you really kind of find your family and find your niche depending on where you're at in the business. And especially in Ohio, we've got a corn milling plant, we've got a Sydney crush plant, a bean crush plant. We've got a couple different animal nutrition facilities that we make dog food and other livestock feed at. Plenty of elevators. We've got salt mines up by Cleveland if you wanted to go there. So the opportunities are truly endless with our company. Some ones that I want to highlight just right now is we are trying to finalize some internships and associates. And if you go to cargill.com, that's going to be the easiest way to find them because we have so many of them. Whether you want animal nutrition, grain buying, merchandising, anything like that, if you just search there. One I will highlight is we're trying to hire a customer service rep out of Sydney, Ohio. So if you guys have any interest in doing that, you're going to be dealing a lot with farmers. If you want to do that, dealing with them on the phone, kind of doing some customer service stuff on the grain side. And I know we have a couple different internships on the grain origination side that are out west in Nebraska and Iowa that we were trying to hire for. So definitely check those out. My contact information is here as well. So if you have any other questions or want more information on a certain one, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Lauren. What excellent opportunities you provide for our students. And also, we'll be so excited to have you at our career fair as well. So people can really, our students can really, after today's introduction, be able to really have some one-on-one with you and talk about their skill sets and being able to add value to your organization. So we're very excited. Thank you so much for attending today. Next, we have Corteba Agriscience. And today we have with us Kenneth McCowan, and he is the Field Operations Manager. After being raised on a crop and livestock farm and working in a local factory, Ken received his bachelor's degree in ag economics from Michigan State University. And during his career, received an MBA from Bowling Green State University. And I have to say, I'm from Bowling Green State University, so I welcome him. After the formal education at MSU, Ken spent 4 years in soybean and corn research before arriving at the Corteba soybean production plant in Grand Rapids, Ohio, where he currently holds the position of Field Operations Manager. Ken has been at the location in various roles for 25 years. He also continues to help his brother on the family farm from time to time while enjoying some outdoor activities with family like hunting and fishing. So Ken, we welcome you to our webinar.
Thank you, Nina. I'm certainly excited to be here. One item I like to mention back in addition to the bio before getting to the company items, I like to mention kind of a key item for me. And that's one place where I worked was actually out on the East Coast in the Maryland, Delaware area and did actually significant work on the original Roundup Ready bean, the research associated with that I felt was kind of a unique experience. And for me, it definitely was an interesting item. Another item that I've done that not everybody has experienced, I've actually went through the wheat harvest from Texas to Minnesota one year. Certainly also a unique experience for me. Was able to see a lot of different farming methods and just open my eyes to more agriculture in more different directions to go. As far as Corteba Agriscience, actually on our website, corteba.com, we're a new enough company that a lot of what's on there is just who we are and how we're trying to serve our customers and of course, the end consumer. We certainly, in one way, are a new company starting on June 3rd, 2019. But in reality, we've been here for many, many years. The new company truly just comprises the Pioneer Seed side that DuPont owned, the DuPont Ag Chemistry, along with the Dow Agriscience Group. Again, who we are now, we split off from the larger Dow DuPont businesses and focus only on agriculture. And I say only on agriculture, but that, of course, is a huge industry. We're a company of about 20,000 employees and have revenue of about $15 billion a year. And again, focus on the digital aspect of agriculture, whether it's aerial imagery or drone use or even yield capture. And the two primary focus areas would be seed sales and pesticide sales, ag chemicals. As far as positions at Corteba, there are a handful of internship positions on the website, though at this point, many of our internships have been filled. That's something we look at and try to actually get wrapped up at about this time. And as far as full-time positions across the US at various places, anywhere from, again, on the East Coast, clear to California, currently there's about 150 different postings representing anything from seed production, for instance, like a production agronomist that would be working with seed growers, to the sales positions where you're working with end customers, to plant operations, whether it's seed production or chemistry, just a whole host of different areas where you can look at and head within the company. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ken. What opportunities await us at Corteva? And just as a side note, one of our students that is on the panel today, Kayla Wise, who also works with us here in Career Services, we're so proud of her. She is going to be one of the interns at Corteva. So we're really excited with the partnership. So thank you so much for providing opportunities for our students. And just as a pause, the resources that you're going to see on this presentation will be on our webpage. This PowerPoint presentation, as well as every employer, has provided either a link to a video that talks about their company or a one-page write-up about each one of them. So that will be shared as well. So thank you so much. So next we have Farm Credit Mid-America. And I just want to make sure that I'm sharing my screen. Awesome. So we have next is Micah Mensing. And Micah is a Growing Forward specialist. Micah leads the Ohio Growing Forward portfolio by providing educational workshops, managing the credit quality, and assisting with external relationships that add value to Farm Credit Mid-America and their customer owners. Prior to joining Farm Credit Mid-America in 2019, Micah graduated from the Ohio State University with a bachelor's degree in agriscience education and Associate of Science in Production Agriculture. Currently, Micah is pursuing a Master's of Business Administration with a specialization in marketing at Murray State University. In addition to its professional involvement, Micah is actively engaged in Ohio Farm Bureau Young Ag Professionals, Agriculture Future of America Alliance, and the Ohio University Young Alumni Academy. So help me welcome Micah Mensing to the podium.
Well, hello everyone. As she said, I'm Micah Mensing, and I'm going to quick share a quick video with y'all about who we are as an association. And once that video wraps up, then I will I'll follow up with some additional comments.
For a century, Farm Credit has been supporting rural communities and agriculture with reliable, consistent credit and financial services. But do you know why Farm Credit was created? Rural enterprises and agriculture are essential, yet volatile. Farm Credit was created to help rural communities from coast to coast weather financial ups and downs. Our access to financial resources and cooperative structure have allowed us to remain strong through bad and good times. Thanks. Farm Credit supports the diverse financial needs of farmers, ranchers, and rural businesses. We also help rural communities thrive by financing vital infrastructure and communication services. That steady flow of credit means more jobs, more economic growth, and more investment in rural America. Today's beginning farmers are the backbone of tomorrow's rural communities. That's why Farm Credit actively supports youth leadership programs like 4-H and the FFA and makes an average of 60,000 loans to beginning farmers each year. As a network of cooperatives, each locally owned by our borrowers, Farm Credit profits are returned directly to our customers, which helps strengthen the rural economy. Our mission has always been to support rural communities and agriculture, making America strong, today and tomorrow. Visit farmcredit.com to learn more.
So I work for Farm Credit Mid-America as a part of that overall system-wide cooperative. And so we cover Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee is our footprint. And as you saw in the video, we are a lending organization that offers a variety of different services to our customers. Some of those customers being farmers, some of those individuals being people that live out in rural America. So there's a wide variety of services that we provide, such as loans, as well as crop insurance and leases. So there's a wide variety of things that we do at Farm Credit, but all of it with our customers at heart of kind of being a cooperative and making sure that all of those cooperative members are getting value from their relationship with their lender and Farm Credit Mid-America as a whole. We currently have about 50 positions posted on our web page for careers if you are interested. Our headquarters office is in Louisville, Kentucky, and so we'd invite you to check out our Louisville office if you're interested in trying out the big city life for a little bit before you move back out to retail offices, which we have all over the state of Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. Or if you'd like to start right into a retail office, we have opportunities for that as well. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all have about what those positions look like. I do believe we'll be joining you all at your career fair. And so we'd be happy to interact with you on a one-on-one basis at that time as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Micah. How exciting the opportunities that are unfolding for all of our Wilmington College students. So thank you so much for that great information. Next, we have, last but not least, Premier Solutions. And Premier, I'm going to introduce you to John Sherbert. And the Sherbert family are farmers and have continuously operated the family farm for over 217 years. Even before Ohio was a state. John left the farm in 1975 to go to work for an area agribusiness, and over time had the opportunity to buy the company in 1999. Today, John has merged this agribusiness with production farming. John is owner and CEO of a commercial feed manufacturing company, regional grain elevators, and a swine breeding stock enterprise. The livestock enterprise raises swine breeding stock for resale throughout the United States and the world. The companies together are under the name Premier Solutions, with the motto of helping farmers feed the world. So John, please take it away.
Thank you, Dinah. Good afternoon, everyone. And I do have a video, I think, to start here right away.
Is it a video or is it a slideshow?
The latter.
I do not have a video, Nina.
It's not a video, it is a it's a slide. And it was in the.
Gotcha, I got that.
Okay.
You almost had it.
Can everybody see it?
Can we see your Zoom page? Thank you so much. You know, we were just laughing earlier about technology. Sometimes it works really well with you, and sometimes they have a little glitches, but we just thank you for your patience, and we're excited to hear from John as well as the panelists. So here we go. John, take it away. I think this is yours. Mm-hmm.
This basically, there's some small circles there that go into some of the specifics of what we do, but we do a lot of different things in our organization, and they're mainly around our logo at the bottom, which is helping farmers feed the world. We have, grain elevators that buy grain, and we actually load containers that go to Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam of soybeans. We also, on the feed side, are a manufacturer under Premier Feeds, which is our label that we distribute products into Indiana, West Virginia, Kentucky, as well as throughout Ohio. And then we also, of course, have a swine operation where we raise PIC genetics, and we've taken our pigs not only across the United States, but in 15 different countries in the world. And that is a big portion of what we do today, along with the grain and the feed. And then we do a lot of ancillary things that not are always some of the most noteworthy things, but we have a Premier truck wash there. We're a very biosecure operation because all our pigs are disease naive, meaning they've never had any diseases, which make them an ideal product for the world when they're trying to introduce genetics. And of course, to do that, you have to, all our vehicles, whether they be feed, whether they be animal livestock vehicles, are washed, dried, disinfected, and then go through a baking process so that they are taking care of any kind of pathogens, again, to prevent any kind of disease movement, either to our customers or from our customers, as well as within our livestock operation. So many things that we do today are directly involved with enhancing something that goes on with farmers here in about a 4-state area, or even here locally. We're in the same county as Wilmington College, and we have hired many graduates of Wilmington College over the last 3 decades. So we always have a special place in our heart for Wilmington College. They produce a great product, and that's one of the reasons I'm here to talk to you today. As far as opportunities, we do have an HR division, and on the internet, we have our websites that can talk about some of the things that we're doing. We're looking into expanding our grain merchandising or needing people there, as well as in our livestock management areas. In the feed side, it might be, well, it actually is production management on the feed manufacturing, the 2 feed manufacturing plants we have, one here outside of Wilmington and the other one up at Urbana, Ohio. So we're very involved with the farmers in I would say 150 mile radius. And we look forward to continuing to serve those folks, and that's how we make our living. Next slide, please. Premier Grain, I talked just about that. We do lots of things in the grain business. As I did mention, we actually load containers that go overseas, as well as providing products for feed manufacturing. So our grain team is working with farmers in probably about a 50 to 75 mile radius. Next slide, please. These are our locations on the grain side that cover that radius that we talked about. Next, please. On the feeds, we have the 2 manufacturing plants. We can make virtually any kind of product, whether it be a pelleted product, whether it be a meal product or a heavy mineral product. And you can find some of our products under lots of different additional labels like Provimi and things like that, which we do some custom manufacturing. So we get involved in a lot of different animal species nutrition. Next one, please. One of the main things that we have is our main location at what's called Melvin, Ohio, which is about 4 miles out of Wilmington. And to the left, you can see one of our grain operations, and that's one of our feed plants. And we also do some of our biosecurity washing, disinfecting, and drying. And we also get very involved in the manufacturing of organic feeds, which has been a new addition in recent years. Next, please. That's the other plant that we have up by Urbana, which is our pelleting operation. And we do, whether it be micro pellets, crumbles, major pellets for any animal species. Next, please. Premier Farming, we talked about that on the pig side. And as we continue to expand that operation, we are not only producing gilts for the producers that are raising hogs throughout the world, but also sires. We're probably the largest sire producer for PIC in the United States. Next, please. Premier Truck Wash, that's 2 different facilities that we have there that are very key to our biosecurity of not only our operation, but the operations we interact with as far as our livestock customers. Next, please. And the administration side, certainly with grain merchandising and some of the different things that are involved. We have a significant amount of people that are working the numbers and designing different ways to make us more efficient and the customer more efficient, getting information, whether it be their grain processing, the grain that they're selling, or whether it be the livestock operations that they're running, and how we can provide different services there as well. Next, please. Custom application, we also get involved in the manure application for not only ourselves, but customers. And the application of organic fertilizer is a big key as we continue to, as every farmer continues to grow their business and reduce their carbon footprint. Next, please. Finally, we not only have the pigs that have to go around the world, but we do get involved in movement of animals themselves. We can actually manufacture the crates, the processing, building the crates that move the animals. We actually take them to the different airports like Rickenbacker. And again, we're moving pigs today in Chile, Brazil, as well as Mexico, Poland, China, Malaysia, Indonesia. Next, please. So there's our website. The 2 ladies that you'll want to contact either by email or through our website would be Carrie Fentress and Cassie Wells. They can give you more specifics about the different opportunities that we have today in the company. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm up next. I'm going to go ahead and facilitate Q&A, a bit of a panel discussion. So I would like to invite anybody who wants to contribute to an answer to feel free to jump in. We can go in any order that you guys choose. I'm going to start first by introducing Kayla Wise. She's a student in the career service. She works for career services. She's also a student in the ag department. And we had asked Kayla to speak on behalf of the students to ask questions that they have for you all. And then I'll follow up with some additional questions to help round out the discussion. So I'm gonna introduce Kayla. Kayla, you're up.
Hello, that was a great experience to listen to everybody talk about their companies. But as far as student questions, there is two. One was, how do you train your employees to understand and comprehend brand values and company policy? And how has COVID-19 affected your hiring process, and how has your company reacted to the pandemic?
I'd be happy to jump in here first. Here at Corteba, training employees and even how has COVID affected our hiring processes, they're almost one and the same, because here recently we've attempted to keep our employees separated the best we can at the workplace to avoid the spread of COVID. Being a newer company, even though we're old, but being a newer company, Corteva, most locations have a safety meeting twice a month where we cover specific policies and safety items. And then additionally, for brand values, almost any time we have a meeting of more than 3 or 4 people, we always start it with a brand value. We try to get ingrained in people's minds and thoughts, whether it's safety, customer service, whatever it is, we work through that a lot. Back to the COVID in our hiring processes, we have moved more and more to Zoom meetings, just like this is. I certainly like the personal contact when you can meet face to face. I think we'll go back to that a little bit, but in reality, a lot of items with interviewing and seeing the facilities and stuff was moving a little bit to the Zoom platforms anyhow. But again, nothing can beat that face-to-face meeting.
I'll piggyback off of him just talking about Cargill. Like they do as well, every single meeting we have, whether there's 2 of us or 500 of us, we either start with a safety contact or a values contact. Sometimes it's recognition of other employees or partners that are doing a good job. Sometimes it's safety. This time of year, I was just on a meeting earlier. It's Nationwide's Grain Bin Safety Awareness Week. So really trying to hit it hard of promoting grain bin safety to farmers as we're talking to them, reminding them to be safe, not only just within the company, but since we are so farmer facing, we have the ability to actually reach out to those folks one-on-one. So that's a big thing that Cargill pushes, using our farmer facing platform to make sure it's safe, or make sure our farmers are safe, or really be out in the community. We did a lot, we try to always donate into the community. Giving back is a big part of it. We get days off to go. Martin Luther King Day, we got to basically had the day off to go help out in the community, whether it was COVID relief or working at a food bank, doing things like that. So that's a big part of the company, and they try to insert those values into you by letting you go out and be the face of the company. Hiring process, a lot of our stuff, first round interviews were virtual anyway. It was interesting with career fairs being virtual so far this year, but we were able to, the good thing about everything being virtual, we were able to go out and hit more schools. Typically, we don't always come to Wilmington, so this is a new one too, just because we were able to do some more virtual stuff. So it it kind of cut down cost of having to physically go to career fairs and let us be able to kind of reach out to folks that maybe we don't always talk to, and we need to kind of get back in touch with that. So that was one positive. I do hope that we do kind of get back to more in person, because there's value in being able to see somebody face to face in person, just to have that casual conversation versus, being on the computer and seeing the facilities, because you can see pictures, but if you're actually at the facility, it really gives you a feel of whether you want to spend your whole life potentially working there or not.
At Farm Credit, we developed a mentorship type program. So each of our new employees is partnered up with somebody that is a little bit more senior. And that's how we teach our brand values and kind of the culture within Farm Credit. I would say long before my time, they worked really hard to create a coaching culture and a culture that is pretty positive within the organization. And so now that's something that they're very serious about working towards and making sure that we're able to sustain. And so through a mentorship type program, that's how that is able to continue. It's changed a little bit for us for COVID, especially for our retail staff that is often out visiting, farms. It hasn't changed a whole lot though, however, because most of our growers do prefer that one-on-one interaction. Us bringing loan docs out to the farm and having those interactions, it's really just added a couple steps of process to make sure that customer is comfortable with it. But other than that, it hasn't changed a whole lot on the retail side. Now, from the more of the corporate side, it's changed pretty significantly, from our hiring process to being virtual completely, to the onboarding. We always had our new employee orientation down in our Louisville office, and got to interact with all of the new employees and kind of be in a cohort at that point. And that's now turned to a virtual setting. So we're adjusting. I do expect that, just as everybody else has said, I do expect it to go the opposite way once people start to get a little bit more comfortable with what we're dealing with. But right now, from a retail perspective, it hasn't changed a whole lot, but from a corporate perspective, it definitely has changed.
At Buckeye Ag Testing, we are a pretty small business, so that definitely impacts our company culture. So our company culture is more reflective of a small business. It's very family-based, and I would even say it's a little more casual than some larger companies. As far as training, we have a pretty unique system developed for our company that allows us to be efficient and organized. So we take time to train our employees towards the beginning of their employment so that they're comfortable with our system and with whatever tasks we're asking them to do. So a lot of our training is hands-on and visual, and is done kind of like in field in real life situations.
John, how about Premier Solutions?
Premier Solutions, basically we do many of the things that have already been mentioned, so it's kind of a repeat, but we do follow kind of a mentorship, kind of like Farm Credit, in that we want that person. We are, every job that we have today, and most jobs in agriculture today, are very much like a fingerprint. So you must learn from the culture. Our culture is basically simply this: if you're not a brand, you're a commodity. And we don't want to be a commodity. We want to be a service provider to the farmer, and that's what sets us apart, and that's truly our brand.
Thank you guys so much for that. I know the students appreciate that, your feedback. That was one of their questions. And students can be anxious about the onboarding process. So I appreciate your transparency in explaining how that works, especially with COVID. I'm going to ask the next question, and I think I'm going to choose this one because it seems like a good piggyback. What are some of the key competencies that you look for in the performance of candidates for employment in your particular business? And John, if you want to, I'll start with you and we'll kind of work backwards.
Well, I guess as we look at key people that we're looking to add to the organization, number one is a work ethic. It's very critical to us. We're all focused on what we do every day. And when we bring somebody new into the organization, we want them to share that same belief that, you doing a good job with what you do every day is a payoff, and you get self-worth out of that in itself. I think a passion for agriculture, because agriculture is a changeable industry and it's changing at a faster rate all the time. And the other thing that we really expect is we want our candidates coming in to have the mindset that they are a business person in agriculture, not an ag person in business, because truly we must be focused on the bottom line. And while we want the passion, we still need to focus on the bottom line and from a business acumen, and being that as the lead key to doing their job on a daily basis. The final thing, I guess, is the ability to follow a plan. We have really basic procedures that we want to, and directions we want to go, and goals we want to reach. And we all agree on the plan we're going to follow, and we expect everybody to do that.
Very good. Buckeye Ag Testing, what do you guys think?
Yeah, at Buckeye Ag Testing, quality data is something that's very important for our business. It's kind of like the product that we are selling to our customers. So when we hire employees, we're really looking for competencies like attention to detail, high work ethic, and also interest in gaining knowledge in the realms of agronomy. Our employees are kind of what allow us to conduct high quality research trials, so it's important that they remain ethical and trustworthy.
Very good. I think it's Micah next. Is that right?
That works for me.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to jump off of something that John just said before his last question. If you're not a brand, you're a commodity. And I think that lies true with this situation as well. You have the opportunity right now as a college student to create your brand. And one of those things within your brand you need to create is everything that everybody's talking about. And I'm going to add to that and say some level of confidence and assertiveness. It is really important that I know that you're a college student. I don't need to hear that during the interview. I know you're a young ag professional. I don't need to hear that during the interview. I want you to come in and tell me how you're going to add value to my organization. Those are the things that I want you to focus on. There is nothing that impresses me more when I have a posting and somebody apply that's fresh out of college, or whether they have 10 years of experience, and they come in and say, Micah, I think your program's great, but these are the things that I'm going to do to take it to the next level. If I have somebody come in and say, well, I think I could do this, I have skills in Microsoft Excel, those are great. Everybody has those at this point in the game. But I need somebody that's going to come in and show me how I can notch it up. And it's okay to come in and say, I don't have a whole lot of experience with what you're doing, but based on the research that I've done, these are the things that I'd like to do to help elevate it. And I think that confidence and that assertiveness is just really attractive as a hiring manager. And it's tough to kind of fake it till you make it sometimes, but I promise you it will pay dividends in the end if you can truly show me how you're going to add value. So create your brand is what I'm trying to say based on what John, because I really like that, how you said that, John.
Thank you.
Lauren?
Yep. And to kind of go off of that, be unique and don't be afraid to be yourself. Show us what you're passionate about, whether it relates to the job or not. When I got hired, I had no idea about buying grain at all. I didn't even know what a basis was or a cash price, but I can talk to people. And that's, I think, the biggest thing is when we're just kind of like what he was talking about, I don't need to know all these different things you're doing. Talk to me about something completely different. I can teach you how to buy grain. I can teach you how to make feed or do operations. Those are all teachable things, but the ability to walk in and have a conversation with somebody that you've never met before in your entire life speaks volumes, especially in the ag industry, because it's all about who you know. It's all about networking and being able to, maybe if you apply for one job and you don't get it, but you've made that connection 5 years down the road, that could potentially help you with your next job, or they might know somebody to point you in the right direction. So just continuously networking, be unique, be yourself. Don't be afraid to think that you can't get a job just because you don't have that degree or you don't have that experience. If you can come in and show me that you can talk to me and that you're willing to learn what we're going to teach you, everything else is coachable.
Ken?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with the comment John made about I'm looking for a person thinking about business, and yes, they know a lot about agriculture. The other way around is nice, but but all of us here are here working for a business or running a business or own a business. So again, the business is very important to me. The other item, and I'm just going to go off, I think, a little bit what Lauren was talking about. In other words, I don't have a lot to add based on what was already said. The communication, be able to talk. Yeah, I don't care to hear the stories, how great they are. I think Micah might have talked a little bit about that. I want to be able to see that they can communicate with a farmer, communicate with my boss or my boss's boss. They need to be able to adjust their messaging to fit who they're talking with. I think that's very important.
This is great because I teach in ag communication. I spend a lot of time trying to define my purpose in the ag program at Wilmington College, but you've all confirmed that the communication piece is relevant and important, and the soft skills are maybe sometimes more important than some of the hard skills. So thank you for the affirmation. The next question I'm going to throw out has to do with agriculture trends in today's job market. Where do you see opportunities emerging in the near future as they relate to your specific career area? So where are you trying to attract new job candidates? Crop monitoring, water use, food safety. These are some of the examples. Where do you see job opportunities or trends in the job field? And we can go backwards if it helps to stay in that order. So Kenneth, I'll start with you.
Okay, yep. My note to myself was yes to all, every item you had put down here, from attracting young farmers to crop monitoring technology, water use, food safety issue. The whole gambit is very important. It's what one's going to be most important to your company. And for Corteba right now, on the seed side, we're looking heavily at the digital platforms, everything from drone use to imagery to yield information. On the pesticides side, what pesticides are going to be needed based on what traits will be in the commodity products, as well as cotton and other products. I had actually one of my supervisors mentioned to me a number of years ago that yes, the company Corteva, previously for me Pioneer, looked to see what the farmers wanted, and whatever they wanted we would produce for them. But it even goes deeper than that. It's really what the consumer wants. What is the consumer going to want? Whatever direction that goes is the direction that the agricultural trends are going to go.
I think a big one for Cargill, and it's kind of cool because it's not just on the grain side, it's grain, feed, all across the board, is sustainability. Whether that's water quality, whether that's carbon credits, whether that's cover crops, all things sustainability is a huge thing. We came out with our goals for the next 25 years, and sustainability was one of the top goals we had. In Ohio, we're seeing a lot of the water quality issues and trying to put money into programs like the H2O Ohio program, putting that into those to see how we can kind of help clean up the water, because it's all going to be relevant to our farmers. How do we take some tillage programs that our farmers are already doing or putting on cover crops? How do we turn that in and make it money for them to add to their bottom line? Because right now there's a whole bunch, like sustainability is like this huge word. And I graduated college in 2013 and nobody knew what sustainability was. It was just this cool buzzword. And now we're actually kind of trying to figure out how we can incorporate that into our farmers' livelihood. Traceability is a huge thing. You're seeing it. People want organic, they want non-GMO, they want to know where their food comes from. So being able to take it, say this came from this farm in Northwest Ohio, that grain is now going to feed chickens down in North Carolina. That's a huge traceability thing that we're seeing more and more consumers want. So I think those are some big important things. I think the next probably the next 2 to 5 years, you're going to see a ton of job opportunities within Cargill just on the sustainability. And once we get a carbon program up and going, like some of our competitors have, that's going to be a huge thing. And just figuring out how to make more money for farmers.
I would say one of the trends that we're currently working in right now is it's kind of interesting, but farm credit, we have to play pretty nice with government a lot of times. And so one of the trends that we continually watch is the administration and what their priorities and goals are. And so as a lending institution, one of the significant priorities of the Biden administration is diversity in food production and agriculture. And so we're trying to position ourselves right now for how do we outreach to diverse and underrepresented people within the agriculture. And so I think that is an important tale to tell, is that not only when you're in the profession do you have to be proactive, like Lauren is talking about identifying what does sustainability look for us, but you also have to be a little bit reactive in realizing what are going to be the priorities of the higher powers as well, right? And adjusting to be able to fall somewhere in the middle. So I would say a huge trend within farm credit right now is identifying opportunities for sustainable operations and how do we provide financing to those. Looking for the diversity within agriculture and bringing them to more of a spotlight type position to be able to lend to them and give them the resources and services they need to be successful. And then the third piece of it is obviously we in last year we saw 35% of farm revenue come from government payments, and that's not a trend that we see continuing. It was an election year, and in addition, it was COVID and a trade war. That is not something that we continue to see happening in 2021 to 2025. And so that's a trend that we're watching very closely to see how can we position our farmers to not rely on that extra 35% of income, and how can we supplement them through loan structure in a variety of different ways to help them sustain that level that they're at today without having that additional income that probably won't be there.
Thank you so much. Megan or Jesse?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we do a lot of stewarded and regulated trials. So we see all the early stage testing of products that farmers are going to eventually see. But, just there's all kinds of problems out in the fields with disease pressure, insect pressure, weeds. So, we're seeing all those new technologies, and hopefully, we pass them along so that farmers can benefit from that. Another thing is there's a lot of other precision ag tools available through drones and aerial imaging and GPS, auto steer, and other technologies that are really going to help farmers down the road.
Thank you so much. And John?
Well, I think regardless of anything in agriculture today, it's changing at an increasing rate. In fact, I call it blur today. It's no longer just revolutionary. And because that change happens so fast, and because technology is the biggest part of that, the one thing that we have to realize in our business, and I think everybody that's speaking today is a part of this, is that as we move into the future and you add technology to any industry, including agriculture, you've either got to handle more units because there's going to be less profit per unit. And that's not necessarily being a commodity. That's just the fact of adding technology to an industry. So our customer and the farmer that we deal with today, they've got to figure out how to, regardless of what unit that is, they got to figure out how to handle more and more units because there's less profit per unit. And I think the real key that we have to do in our organization, and the thing that we spend a whole lot of time on each and every year, is adapting to those changes and being more to that farmer. And that's why we succinctly, our motto is helping farmers feed the world. If we can focus on that helping, meaning understanding what they're needing and adapting our product and our service to that, our future is assured. So that's today, to talk anything specific, I think across the board. It's changing at a rate of blur, and we've got to figure out how to, in our company, to assess that for our customer and help be more to them each year.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with all of these points, but especially John, that last one. And I feel like if there are any silver linings to the COVID situation, it's that we've almost by force taught these young next generation employees how to be flexible and how to, you know, have the agility to move with whatever's happening. So hopefully we've created that flexibility in this next generation of employees, and they'll be able to move with technology or whatever else they're presented with. It is my responsibility to kind of close the discussion. We are nearing the point where I think we've gone over our hour. So I want to be respectful of your time. Before I hand it over to Nina, I just want to say I'm humbled by the opportunity to hang with you guys for an hour. For those I haven't met, it's great to meet you, and I appreciate this networking opportunity. What a great chance for students to get an inside look into what's coming, you know, next week, or I guess in a couple weeks when we have the career fair. I think by listening to the points that you make, they'll be more prepared. They'll brand themselves effectively, as you all put it. So what an opportunity for them. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Excuse me, Corey, I couldn't piggyback and said it any clearer than that. The wealth of information that each one of you have provided has been very, very rich for our students, because this world is changing so quickly and the skills and competencies are changing. We need to hear from you because we are producing this next generation of talent. What's important for you as an employer? So you provided us a great overview and outlook of what to prepare our students for. And hopefully this conversation and dialogue will give our students an edge to be able to say and look internally with themselves about their skills and abilities and realize what value they're bringing to you as an employer. So words cannot express the gratitude that we all have here at Wilmington College on how you have presented that to our students. Corey said a key word, and that key word is agility. And I think this is the day and age that we have to be almost like Mercury, being able to move and shift when we need to be able to do so for the betterment of our customers and the betterments of our business. Thank you so much for providing the competencies and the opportunities for our students. Thank you. It's been just a wonderful time in this dialogue and discussion. Also, students, on the next slide that you're seeing now is the resources. On here, I try to bring articles that talk about careers in ag, as well as the future of farming and future careers in agriculture. So please take advantage of using some of these resources as you prepare yourself to meet the employers on March the 10th at our career fair. So without any further ado, again, hats off to all of our employers. Hats off to Kayla Wise, our student representative, who asked questions as well. And Corey, you're phenomenal. So thank you so much for representing the ag department. And I think our legacy leaders would be proud of this moment to see that we're moving forward in the great things in the field. So thank you so much, each and every one of you, for your patronage and your support for Wilmington College. Thank you.
Thanks, Nina.
Bye, everyone.